Primal Chaos.
Hey guys, Primal Chaos here. Welcome to the channel. Today's episode is brought to you in part by Enchroma Glasses. So if you're colorblind or you know someone who is, check out their website. And if you use the code CHAOS in checkout, CHAOS, you'll get 10% off. Tell them Primal Chaos sent you. Okay, so fairly recently I did Aurora at the Nobel Peace Prize concert doing Murder Song. And if you saw that video, you know how profoundly affected I was by that performance. It was really, really intense. But out of that performance, I did get a lot of recommendations to check out Sigrid, who is apparently a friend of Aurora's, also from Norway, I assume. That's about the extent of my knowledge, actually. I really don't know anything more about Sigrid, but, you know, that's what your job is. Fill me in the comments. I'd love to know sort of the details. This is how I learn, right? I'm here to learn from you guys. I'm not here to tell you what I think is amazing, although sometimes if people do follow me on this journey and learn about new things the same way I do, that brings me so much joy. That's what I'm here for. But the fundamental journey of this channel is for me to learn, right? So anytime you guys interact with me in the comments is always really helpful. I do read as many as I can, and I get back to as many as I can, but these days it's getting a little bit trickier. But the overall consensus of knowledge that comes through in the comments, I definitely sort of garner all my knowledge from that. So anyway, so feel free to type away. Let me know more about Sigrid. This is going to be an absolutely true first time reaction because I couldn't honestly even tell you what she sounds like. I haven't seen any snippets or anything like that. I'm going solely off the recommendations of people in that chat. So also don't forget to check out, I've got a Discord channel where you can come and discuss things like this. And I'll leave a link in the description for that as well. Okay, so Sigrid Dynamite. Let's jump right in. It seems like it would have been an amazing concert to be at.
Don't know where I am with you, forgetting time and space with you. Oh, I wish we had a common view. You see my red is blue. I don't belong in your universe, for better or for worse.
Oh, nice lyrics.
I'm the same, but I'm bolder. You get home, but I'm on my way out now. Not the same destinations. No, I will stay when you get off the train. You're safe as a mountain, but know that I am dynamite. You're safe as a mountain, but know that I am dynamite. Your hand is warm, but my heart is blue. It's blue, no. I'll miss you, but I've got things to do. Oh, I wish we had a common view. You see my red is blue. I don't belong in your universe, for better or for worse. No.
All right, I'm gonna go back. I don't want to miss anything, but you know, it's overwhelmingly obvious that there's so much amazing young talent out there at the moment. That's, I think, that more so than there ever has been, and I'm sure that's in no small part due to the internet and people having access to amazing resources, you know, like YouTube, you know, from a really young age. And if there's anything you ever wanted to know or any influence that can be had over you, it can be had from a really young age now. That'll, you know, it allows people to grow at a rate that was just never really possible before. I'm watching this young performer. I have no idea how old she is, but I assume not very. And she's delivering a pitch perfect performance, a note perfect performance. That's, I'm trying to think of the word. It's so mature in its delivery. There's no affectation. There's no over embellishing. There's no trying to prove anything. it's just this mature, stoic performance that doesn't require any extra bells and whistles. Like, it's beautiful, there's an orchestra behind her, but this would be just as powerful a performance if it was just a piano. The lyrics are wonderfully poetic and beautiful. And I've talked about this before. It's much harder to write beautifully poetic, simplistic lyrics. You can be easily verbose and you can impress people with wordiness. But I think it's a lot harder to write something that's just pristine and pure with the least amount of words and not sounding like you're trying to over-intellectualize the subject matter, right? Yeah. I'm going to jump back a little bit.
Oh, I wish we had a common view. You see, my red is blue. I don't belong in your universe, for better or for worse. No, I'm the same, but I'm bolder. Oh, you get old, but I'm on my way out now. Not the same destinations. No, I will stay when you get off the train. You're safe as a mountain, but know that I am dynamite. Oh, you're
Lyric.
safe as a mountain, but know that I am dynamite. Know that I am dynamite. Now, know that I am dynamite. Know that I am dynamite. Oh, it's so cold, dear, 'cause I left my heart to be with you. Oh, it's so cold, dear, 'cause I left my heart to be with you. No, I'm the same, but I'm bolder. Oh, you get old, but I'm
Wow.
on my way out now. Not the same destinations. No, I will stay when you get off the train. You're safe as a mountain, but know that I am dynamite. Oh, you're safe as a mountain, but know that I am dynamite.
Wow.
Thank you. Thank you to my amazing band. Thank you all. This is such an honor.
Very cool. The other thing that the tail end of the song there, when she was sort of bringing out a little bit more grit in her voice and stuff like that. The other thing that became really clear to me was, here's a person who really has a fundamental understanding of who they are as an artist and their voice, like their sound, what they want to deliver, what they don't sound like anyone else. This is just the voice that comes out of her physically, and I love that she's got that ability to lean into it a little bit more and add a little bit of aggression, but not in a way that sounds forced, or it sounds, like as if she's trying to do something. It's just there. Like,
When you get off the train, you're safe as a mountain, but know that I am
but-
same, but I'm bolder. Oh, you get old, but I'm on my
Right there.
way out now. Not the same destinations. No, I will stay when you get off the train.
like there's a little bit of in there as well. And it's just cool. It's just unique, and it's just enough, man, to have that sort of awareness and that self-awareness as such a young artist. I'm going to find out. Give me a second. I need to know more about who she is and how old she is. Right. So I sort of looked her up. She was born in 96. I think this is 2017. So that would, she was roughly 20, 21 around this time. And, there are a ton of young performers in their 20s, their early 20s, who are like world stage performers and stuff like that. But I find that it's honestly very more often than not, it's few and far between that aren't somebody who's affected by someone else. You know, there's plenty of amazing singers that sort of grew up on a diet of Mariah or Whitney or, you know, and a lot of R&B singers and stuff like that all tend to sort of coalesce into some one giant monster. You know what I mean? Whereas having something so pure and I don't want to say innocent, because it's not about innocence. It's just purely unaffected. It's like a pristine stream, like mountain stream, you know. I think the only correlation I could make to somebody else in pop with this kind of a self-awareness and purity would probably be Jewel. If you're familiar with Jewel, she had a lot of hits back in the early 90s, and she was very folksy. Still is. She's still out there doing her thing. But that was the thing that was so, everyone was so passionate about Jewel. She was one of those performers who, back before she was famous, she used to go in and she got a residency at a coffee shop. And by the time she got signed, she would be doing shows at this tiny coffee shop where hundreds of people would show up to watch her. And I think it was due to the fact that she was so organically pure. Like, she grew up in the mountains of Alaska with no one around her, no running water, no electricity and things like that. And I think that affords you a certain humility and a certain understanding and self-understanding, where I think kids in like Western society typically grow up with an abundance of influence. And there comes a point in your young formative years where you have to make a decision of cherry picking all of those things and making them into like coalesce into something that becomes who you are. You know, you can see that by, you know, people wearing, you know, band t-shirts or things like that, where they're sort of expressing themselves through, or, you know, pop culture. Like, what pop vinyls you have on your bedroom shelf dictates who you are as a person or an individual. And I think, you know, that's who inevitably you become, like this extruded sort of melange of flavors that becomes who you are based on the abundance of influence. Whereas someone like Jewel grew up in a world where all she had was herself and her family. And so you don't have that Western influence coming through. And if anything, she might have had access to records or something like that for old country artists or blues artists or something, you know. But I think in 2022, I mean, the reason, even in the 90s, the reason Jewel was so special is because of her authenticity. People could look at her and immediately buy who she was. And because she was putting it out there, she was so innocent and so truthful and honest that she projected her actual personality on the outside of her being. And it was authentic. And I mean, obviously that led to her, you know, probably getting taken advantage of and things. But anyway, we're not here to talk about Jewel. I just wanted to sort of draw a parallel between what I'm seeing. And again, I don't know Sigrid's backstory. I don't know where she's from. I don't know what's going on as far as her influences and stuff like that goes. But I feel like at the very least, that authenticity is there. And that's really interesting to see in this is 2017, but in 2022, seeing that still available and still readily available amongst young performers is refreshing, I guess. Yeah, this is such a, yeah, I really admire this performance. I think it's really cool. Yeah, wow. Okay. Anyway, yeah, tell me if there's any other songs from Sigrid I should check out. But, you know, that's definitely a heartfelt performance worthy of such an incredible show. Anyway, that's about all I got time for. If you feel like I brightened your day at all, feel free to support the channel. Just buy me a coffee. I'll leave a link in the description. Or just hit the thanks button below this video, shaped like a heart. Also, don't forget to check out my Discord. I want to get some more people over there. At the moment, it's kind of this fledgling thing that's happening. But it'd be great if other people could join us and join the conversation over there. That'd be great. Like, share, follow, subscribe, obviously. If you haven't subscribed already, there's plenty more of this coming. So you might as well hit it now. You're going to do it later. You might as well do it now. Thanks again, guys. Stay primal. I'll catch you on the next one. Hey guys, this video is made possible by Enchroma. 1 in 6 guys and 1 in 200 women are colorblind, and if that happens to be you, there's something you can do about it. Click the link in the description, it'll take you to Enchroma's website where you can get a free eye test. And while you're there, maybe pick up some corrective lenses. They've got styles to suit everybody and a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you got really nothing to lose. And while you're there, use the code CHAOS in checkout to get 10% off. Tell them Primal Chaos sent you.